I'm with Sami Khouri from Visit Palestine. Now, Sami, what is Visit Palestine?
Well, Visit Palestine. It's an online destination guide for Palestine. Obviously, mainly for tourism. It's available in multiple languages. We started the first one in 2008 as a very simple project, but now it's gradually expanded, and it is, I think, one of the leading online destination guides, Palestinian-made or Palestinian guides for Palestine.
Can you actually see Palestine from the internet?
Now, that was one of the biggest problems that we had, or one of the biggest, let's say, gaps that we found online. That looking at Palestine, obviously, if it bleeds, it leads, and we're always in the media within a negative context. But there's so much more to Palestine that's not really, visible or available online. There's a lot of misinformation or disinformation online for, even within the tourism context. And this is a void that we are hoping and we have gradually been filling, so that when you do go online, you will find, let's say, a more positive, a more, let's say, a completely different perception of Palestine, which is actually the reality on the ground as well. Besides the politics, there's so much beyond that layer that people don't get to see or experience or even know about.
And when were you started, and what's your mission?
We first launched the first version of the website back in 2008. At the time, we were more of a marketing communications company, so it was more kind of trying to build our portfolio and to say this is what we can, the type of sites that we can develop, and then use it within that context. But we quickly realized that there is an opportunity, there is a huge void online, that we can put a lot more energy into this project, because we kind of saw where it could reach or it could go. And gradually, especially over the last 2 years, our main focus as a company has been just on developing Visit Palestine and the Visit Palestine brand. We're launching a brand new website this month in September, so everybody should stay tuned. A lot more functionality, a lot more very fresh new content and imagery. You'll be able to book, to reserve, to book, and to pay for your trips online. Our main target has always been the individual tourists, because not to go off on a tangent, but a lot of the tourists that do come to Palestine in general, and Bethlehem in particular, it's mass tourism. They come in organized groups, shuttled in, shuttled out, very little time and money being spent with the host communities. Now, there is a growing trend for individual travelers. Today, their first option is to book independently online. And you can't do that if you're visiting Palestine, because there's so much limited information. Our infrastructure is not fully developed to cater to individual tourists, perhaps. There's quite a few voids, but this is one of the market segments that we try to service as Visit Palestine, both online and obviously with our new center that we opened in the heart of Bethlehem.
Is there any fear at all, you think, from people who want to come into Palestine?
I think a lot of it is because of the misinformation or the negative or the misperception that people have. Yes, it is. It's a challenge. It can be difficult, but it's doable, and I think the experience will be even more rewarding. If you go through this little challenge to get here. But in terms of safety, it is safe. We have more than over a million tourists visited Palestine and Bethlehem just last year. Talk to any of these individual tourists, particularly who are running around and navigating. They will tell you that it was not what they expected. Yes, there are checkpoints. Yes, there are these challenges. It's a layer you have to understand, but you can still, enjoy and travel and experience Palestine, the Palestinians, their culture. And there are many different sites across the region.
Of course, Bethlehem is a tourist city, so they have to look after and cater for the tourists so the tourists don't come, so it has to be safe, doesn't it?
Well, absolutely. And I think in Bethlehem, it is at the center point. It is the backbone of the industry. It does receive the highest number of visitors. The people, they're much more, I'm going to say, receptive and welcoming to the visitors. We do know that we are hosts or protectors of one of the biggest, historical and religious sites in the world, which is a gift for the world. And, the Bethlehem economy relies heavily on tourism. And yes, it is safe. Bethlehem is safe. Bethlehem is surrounded by a wall, yes, but it's an experience in and of itself once you're also inside Bethlehem, with the positive and the negative.
And what projects do you run?
Well, now we just opened our newest location in the heart of Bethlehem. It's our first physical location in Bethlehem. We are around 200 meters from Manger Square. At the center, we do a wide range of things. We have a tourist information office, which caters, again, to visitor needs from A to Z, whether it's purely inquiries or trip planning or tour planning. At our center, we also have a very nice boutique gift shop, all Palestinian-made handicrafts, arts and crafts. And from the center, we also launch a lot of different activities, whether it's workshops, movie screenings, exhibitions. We organize mini tours in and around the area from Bethlehem to other regions. So we're gradually becoming a nice little hub which could potentially be, your first stop when you're coming to Bethlehem to find out what's going on, what's happening. This might be the best, one of the best locations to start your visit.
Now you have a shop here in the heart of Bethlehem. What sort of goods do you sell here?
And we're proud to say that a policy when we open the place is that everything in this shop has to be Palestinian made, and we are sticking to that. Within our very small shop, we have a wide range of from close to 65 different suppliers, ranging from women working from home to special non-profit organizations that support, handicapped organizations. We work with organizations that support the Bedouins in and around Jerusalem, from more the traditional factories like olive wood factories. So it's a very wide, diverse range of, I'm going to say, carefully selected, handmade, 100% Palestinian products from Jenin down to Hebron. And soon we'll be getting something from Gaza as well.
And what sort of products do they make?
The producers that we work with. I mean, we have, a whole line of, let's say, traditional foods, whether it's the olive oils, the paste, the different herbs. We have more of the crafts, whether it's the traditional olive wood craft industry, which has been going on for generations. Ceramics and glass from Hebron, the traditional embroidery that from different regions within Palestine. Amazing, beautiful educational toys from the north of Palestine. Very nice book collection of Palestinian authors. So yeah, it is different artworks and paintings, a jewelry collection. I don't know if I mentioned that. So it is a very diverse kind of, let's say, selection of products that have been carefully selected from across the country.
Are these businesses very strong, or are they dying out, some of these products?
Some of these products are dying industries. Some of them, most of them, the vast majority are SMEs, whether it's a woman trying to support herself from working from home. Some have been olive wood producers that, again, it's a generation. It is very much tied to the seasonality of the industry. So these producers, they are struggling. Mother of pearl is an industry that's almost disappearing. But we are supporting up-and-coming artists and craftspeople. A lot of young people who are having a hard time getting their products shown to visitors or internationally. We are trying to provide this little platform for them as well.
And you're promoting Palestine. What is there to see here?
There's a lot to see. I mean, anywhere you go in Palestine, the history goes back, centuries, and the different cultures and people that have lived here, it really makes up the mosaic of Palestinian culture. I mean, it's layers and layers of history and different culture that are here. Obviously, Palestine is home for the three monotheistic religions, yes. If you're in Bethlehem, obviously, it's at the heart of Christianity. Jerusalem is at the heart of the three religions. And Jericho is the oldest city in the world, dating back close to 10,000 years. So there's a lot of different wonders, and it's a very small country, so the distances to actually cover and experience different things from north to south, there's a lot to see that people are unaware of. People think, there's the Church of Nativity and maybe one or two other key sites, but there's so much beyond that in Palestine, whether it's sites, the natural landscape. We're seeing a huge boom in hiking and outdoor trails being marked, and locals and foreigners joining these different trails. You're seeing rock climbing popping up also in and around Ramallah. There's a lot of festivals that happen on a monthly basis. You're going to find at least one cultural festival that's happening in a town or a village somewhere. Definitely there's a lot. What I'd like to say is there's a lot to see beyond the stones and beyond the churches and the shrines and the mosques. There's the Palestinian people.
And how welcoming are the Palestinian people to tourists coming here?
I mean, I think, hospitality is in our DNA as Palestinians. You will sense it. It's deeply rooted in our culture, in the way we welcome our visitors. Whether you're going to a private house, to a restaurant, inside a refugee camp, you will be greeted with a smile and a welcoming person. It's deeply rooted in our culture. Palestinians are very hospitable.
And how is the Christian community here?
It is, the Christian community here is, I'm going to say, it is like the vast majority of the Palestinians here. We are suffering. I mean, the occupation does have a serious toll. A lot of Palestinian Christian families have immigrated. If you're looking at Bethlehem alone, the strangulation with the wall that has really cut off Bethlehem from Jerusalem and from the rest of Palestine and the world has put a strangle on the population. And a lot of the Christian families, they are immigrating, they are leaving. Today, I think the Christians within the Palestinians are just under 1.5% of the population. Now we are brothers, we are Palestinians. We are, I think for the vast majority, they would say they are Palestinian before they would say they're a Muslim or a Christian. No, but I think, and this is something we always try to tell all these masked pilgrims that are coming here to visit the shrines, that you need to visit the living stones of Palestine, whether it's the Christians or the Muslim communities. And for the Christians in specific, if you do not support the Christians living here, you're going to end up with stone museums and no living stones who are, from descendants from the time of Christ.
Does immigration really affect Palestine? Are you losing some of your best people?
We are, and Palestine, a good portion of our population is young right now, and the job opportunities in Bethlehem or in Palestine are limited. A lot of people, they go internally, whether it's to Ramallah, which has become a hub, but many are immigrating outside of Palestine, those that have the opportunity to. So yes, there is a big brain drain happening, and I think it's going to be an even bigger challenge as we move forward, because again, we're getting a lot of fresh graduates, a lot of hungry, talented youth coming into the workforce and into the workplace, but there's not enough supply. And that's why the majority of businesses are entrepreneurs, small, medium-sized startups. So yeah, it is a challenge. It is a challenge.
And what's your prayer for the nation, for Palestine?
Well, better times, I would say. Obviously I would pay for peace and freedom, for us to actually grow, for a change. I mean, the possibilities of what we can do if we're allowed to do it, if we have the means to do it, I think are endless. Palestinians, we excel anywhere we go, here or abroad. And I'm not just saying that, but you have a vast number of successful Palestinians who are living abroad because they have the opportunities. I think with all the challenges that we face, I think the sky is the limit if this whole political situation ends rightfully.
And what's your website for people who'd like to know more?
It's www.visitpalestine.ps, and we'll be launching the new site hopefully before the end of September. We'll be announcing it soon.
Okay, Sammy, thank you very much.
Perfect. Thank you, Paul.